Welcome to our September Solutions Lab covering Collab AI. We're very excited to present this to you. We have a lot of new detail to give you on features that have been added to Webex and other related Collab services. I have with me today Mike Brooks from Cisco. He's a BDM covering the collaboration side of things. Hey, Mike. And I also have Mike Riley with Hey. And I also have Mike Riley with me. He's part of my team at D&H here. He's a Cisco sales engineer, and his specialization is collaboration. Hello, other Mike.
Hello.
All right, so I'm going to be doing a lot of Mr. Riley and Mr. Brooks today, just so we can keep everybody clear. And I'm your host, Aaron Shelton. I help run our Cisco engineering program at D&H. So we're so thrilled to have you with us today, and we have a lot to cover. So we're going to jump in pretty quick here. Kind of kicking things off first here with Webex Meetings, the base, the stable of the Collab suites and hybrid work and everything that we've gone through over the past 4 years. Webex has always been that base at the bottom there, but there's some really great features that have been built in, maybe not everybody knows about, but also a lot of stuff that's been added. We're going to start with noise removal. Mr. Riley, tell us a little bit about what we have there.
So this is a built-in feature on the platform. It's enabled right now for Webex calling and with the Webex app for meetings, coming to other platforms soon. It's pretty impressive. We'll have a little demo of it a little later on, but really it removes all kinds of background noise and keeps your voice front and center.
This is one of those that kind of changed the way I attend a meeting. I used to mute all the time, and now I leave it off because dog barks and it's covered up. It's pretty amazing. Now, stepped away, that's a new feature. Mr. Brooks, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely, right? So this is a great feature, right? So at least from a Cisco's perspective, I'll tell you this, right? I'm in a meeting. I either have to take a bio break or I want an additional cup of coffee or things like that. Normally, I'll send a quick little message via Webex to my leader and I'll say, hey, I got to step away for a second. In this particular case, right at the bottom of the Webex meeting that we're in, right, I click a button that says step away. It automatically mutes my mic, turns off my video, and puts that cool little coffee mark that's on the screen right on there so everybody kind of knows I stepped away. When I come back, there's one button to push that says go back to meeting, right? Turns on my video, turns on my mic. I'm all set. I've got my coffee. I'm all set, ready to go. And there's a really cool thing that we're going to talk about kind of in the summaries thing right after that as well. We can touch on that. That's another added feature to the stepped away, but really cool add-on. Excited it's there.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. And this next one, this is game changing, and this is the one that I've been incredibly impressed with, and the few times I've used it so far. This is maybe added a couple months ago at this point. In meeting summaries, Mike Riley, what do you think there?
The in-meeting summaries are somewhat game changing. It goes along with transcription, so if this is turned on, everything in the meeting is transcribed, and the AI features embedded in the platform can then build a summary based on what's happened while you were away. If you've missed the beginning of the meeting, you can have it let you know if your name has been mentioned while you were away. It will summarize action items that it picks out from the list, and the list goes on and on. It's really very impressive.
I'll add on to that really quick if you guys want really quick, and it's really cool overview on there, and right, that's one of the great features of when I step away. When I click the button that says go back to the meeting, it automatically gives me that pop-up that you see in the in-meeting summaries that lets me know what I missed while I was away. Even if it was a minute, if my name was mentioned, if I had an action item, or there was a comment there along the way, it automatically catches me up to the meeting to that point where I was at, right? So that whole stepped away and in-meeting summaries tie very nicely together during the meeting, right? So very glad it's there. Mike, great overview, by the way, as well.
Yeah, that's very handy. I've hit that button several times, and it's been very helpful. It's a nice, concise description of what's been going on. And tied to that, post-meeting summaries, of course. Mr. Brooks, why don't you continue on with that? What do we get out of that?
this, outside of the stepped away, which I really like, right? This post-meeting summary was a game changer, at least for me. I can't attend every single meeting that is out there, right? Most of them are recorded, transcribed, etc. What a great way to go back and click on a meeting to talk about, here's what we missed the entire meeting. And it literally does the meeting within 30 seconds, right? Here's everything that happened. Here's the person that spoke. And there's even a button on there that says talk about action items. So if my name was mentioned, or if there's an action item, I can click on that button and say, where was my name mentioned? I specifically go right to where that transcription or summary was, where my name was mentioned. And same thing from an action item. At the end of the summary, if there are action items in general, what was the final result of the call? They're all there at the end. So basically what I'm saying, what a great way to take an hour-long meeting, reduce that to 10 minutes, and actually know what's been going on, where my name was mentioned, and any action items that have come out of it, right? So fantastic and great way to look at them. So glad it's there.
No kidding. Gone are the days of reading through transcriptions, which we've had for a couple of years now, and I've done it because I've missed meetings, and I have to go back and read the transcription or watch the video. Sometimes reading that has been faster, but man, seeing the summary just totally changes the game a little bit.
100%.
Throughout our presentation today, we're going to have several demo videos. We're going to kick off one of those for you in just a second here. I just want to mention before I do that, we do have a Q&A box. Hit the Q&A box, ask any questions along the way. At the end of the session, we'll pop in and answer those questions live. And if you manage to stump us, we'll get back to you. But we definitely want to have your questions coming in, so feel free to do that. And without further ado, I'm going to kick off a demo noise removal video. And just amazing feature here.
What if you could go to the noisiest place in the world and still be heard?
Have that ready for you by tomorrow morning.
That sounds great.
Background noise removal and speech enhancement from the all-new Webex. Breakthrough technology, so you can break through.
Just a really good feature there. And actually, I remember one of the demos we did way back, Mike Brooks, we hopped on one of these, and I think I was using a screwdriver and a piece of wood, and we still managed to talk to each other. So it was pretty impressive.
Absolutely.
One little side note on that, not quite the Webex platform, but the new Desk Phone 9800 series incorporate the AI sound removal built into the device as well, so that can extend to UCM platform even.
Absolutely. So yeah, now we're starting to see it on the hardware. So some of the desk devices, that new phone, a lot of good stuff there. Now, Advanced Video AI, these are all new features that are just being released and on the way out to everybody. Mike Riley, let's start with you again. What do you have to say here?
Video AI encompasses a number of things. This slide shows a few. The portrait effect, sort of highlights you, blurs the background, a little vignetting in the corners, really to put your face front and center on that. Be Right Back is stepped away now, I believe, so that feature has changed slightly. Mike Brooks is a big fan, of course. And I think one of the interesting things to see will be the video super resolution. The idea is that it reduces the video resolution for transmission to get that bit stream rate down, save a little bit of your telecom lines capacity. And at the far end, the video is upscaled with AI for possibly even better resolution than it started with. Cinematic meetings falls under this as well, and this is another game changer for the meeting categories. Using multiple cameras to get people from the right angle and to be able to frame down to individuals so that each person's represented equally in meetings. A lot of these are built into the platform, but will also extend to some degree to other platforms, in particular Teams meetings that are done through Webex devices.
So it sounds like the cameras are going to do some smart work there to figure out who's talking. What device in the room is going to help kind of decide who should be up on screen there?
Well, the codec is the brains of it, whether it's built into one of the room bar devices or as one of the room kits as a separate piece. And that will look at the camera feeds. It will use audio data to locate the speakers to be able to frame them individually, and it'll put together a composite stream to go to the remote sites that show participants side by side. As you can see in the diagram, shows field of capture coming from the sides, and that is the either quad-cam 4Ks or the PTZ 4K cameras that are positioned on the sides to get people from the front and to make the meeting more natural.
Yeah, so a very nice extension of what we've had already. We've had the camera bar at the front of the room. It'll kind of, it'll pick out where people are in the room, and you'll see sometimes the side of their head while they're talking. It's still the person that's talking, but this, lights it up even more where we're looking directly on someone's face. So really nice meeting mode there. Mike Brooks, before I move into our next little demo snippet, anything to add here?
So yeah, like I said, one of the things that we're really doing here when it comes to collaboration and devices and our cameras, and remember, is that all of these features that you're seeing are quote unquote built in, right? So they're all built in functionality into an existing WebEx purchase here. When you look at cinematic meetings, which we are really excited about, it is truly almost like being inside a movie, right? You've got your room bar, room kit in the front. You've got most of the time your quad cam and your PTZs on the side focusing in on each thing, and regardless of the room size, right, the cameras are going to seamlessly follow you around, almost like one of those movie people that is sitting on the cart, just following you along the way as you're running, kind of thing, right? If I stand up, it follows me. If I go to the front of the room, it follows me. And it's got this auto switch feature between the PTZ and the room kit up front to let me know exactly where I'm kind of at. I encourage anybody that goes out to any Cisco events in a way, ask for a demo around Cinematics meeting and have it done in person when you're sitting at the table. So if you go to an expo and Cisco's there, look for that Cinemeeting demo. It is breathtaking and mind-blowing, and you'll all become a big fan of it. Just let you know it's coming soon. And when I say coming soon, you'll see these kind of things coming up within the next quarter and a half, right? So really exciting.
A lot of great new features on the way out right now. So we'll kick into a quick demo clip that covers a few of the new features. And then after that, we're going to talk about some devices in detail.
Your day moves fast, and interruptions go with the territory. With AI Assistant, you can get personal summaries of what you missed.
Okay, I'll review it all and send over the changes.
Missed the full meeting? Get video highlights, meeting recap, and action items. The AI Assistant keeps your day moving.
All right, so I can hardly imagine any mishaps ever happening in a meeting, but it's been a reality. They actually do. So a lot of good features here that kind of keep us working away. And whether that's at the office or at home, I've noticed as we've gone back to office, it's even noisier at the office than it is here at home. So I'm really enjoying some of those extra sound limiting features and looking forward to the new stuff coming out. Now on the Cisco devices side of things, Mike Brooks, let's start with you this time. What's our people focus feature here?
So the people focus is a way for us built inside the codec here in the devices a little bit, is a way for us to maximize the real estate on the screen, right? Most of the time when you're looking at a screen, particularly a Desk Pro or a desk, whatever it may be that you have on your end, you can really see, especially if there's a lot of people in that meeting, but you want to bring back the presenter and a few of the people that are at the table right into focus, right? So what this does is it gives you an overview of the people in the table itself, right? The 4 or 5 are there at the main top of the table, and you can put them at the top of the screen. And then what it does is it gives an individual view view of those specific people as well at the table if you want to see that, or on the other end allows those individuals to come in and kind of shorten the screen a little bit and put their face front and center of that conversation. As you can see from the picture itself, right, I've got an overview of the table and then 3 individuals on the other end that are completely brought to the front of the conversation, right? Even though they might be sitting at a table similar to the people up on the front or on the top of the screen, right? It takes them out of that table view, puts them into that individual frame screen that's there. Really cool to look at when you're on your devices. And really brings that person front and center, right? And it crops away any empty background that may be there, right? So while we are all worrying about what our background kind of looks at here, when you look at people focus, it takes that empty background out and makes you front and center.
Yeah, great feature that's already there. And if you haven't tried it out, it's in Webex, upper right-hand bar, some of your video features, you'll click on that, and then there's a little checkbox to turn on people focus, and that starts your journey into that feature. So that's there, it's baked in. If you have Webex, you already have this. Mike Riley, on the meeting zone side of things, looks like another way to limit background people. What's this do?
Actually, first, a couple of quick notes on the people focus. One is that this is a feature that's exclusive to the Webex platform. And also, even though we looked at the cross-view setup earlier, this isn't limited to multi-camera setups. This can be done with room bar or other single camera, single setups without having that. It will take the picture apart as it sees it and assemble it into the proper frames. Now, in the meeting zones, this feature is really great for open areas, rooms with glass walls. You don't really want to see people in the background be picked up and focused on individually in that case. So you can set up a meeting zone. You can define the area that the camera should pay attention to for singling out people to focus on. That's available through Webex and through Teams via the codec.
So I'm going to add on that meeting zones thing real quick, right? This is kind of like Star Trek-like in a way. For those of you that have a Meta headset, right, whatever it may be, you'll know when you log into your Meta headset, you draw your perimeter in there before you play a game. Think of it similar into that degree, right? You're in this open space. There's people walking by either in the back, at the sides, no glass walls. You draw the perimeter of that particular meeting that you're in. You will not see those people walking by, right? And if you don't turn off the people to take those people out of it, right, even as they walk by, you will not hear them because of the noise reduction that's kind of built into the camera itself. And they only become part of the meeting, so to say, or the camera will only pick them up if they step inside that perimeter, right? So off on the right-hand side, you'll see that kind of like teardrop room in a way, right? Anybody that's on the outside of that green teardrop, you won't see or you won't hear. As soon as they step into that, that's when they become part of the meeting. You'll be able to hear them, and then the people focus on the camera fits right in there. Really cool feature and available now either in Webex and or Teams. And as you're going through this presentation, what we've kind of done here is that because we are across the board platform open between Teams, Google, Zoom, and the rest of those, anything that is Microsoft related and Webex, you'll see the 2 logos down below so that you can see that it's across the board regardless if you're in Webex or an MTR environment. But great feature.
Right, no kidding. So now we're taking Teams as a native application on some of these room codecs, and it pulls in some of those Webex features like meeting zones. That's just amazing. Now a bit more camera magic on our way. Mike Riley, tell us about Frames camera mode a little bit.
Frames camera mode is a bit like people focus. It's not quite as flexible in terms of layouts, but it still can focus and highlight on individuals within the meeting, as you can see in the graphic. And one of the reasons for this mode is that this will also translate to Teams as well as Webex.
Yeah, definitely. So that's just taking that single camera feed and kind of compressing everything down. So Again, focusing on the people that are in the meeting. The meetings are all about the people that are in them. Which brings us to our, last view on this slide is the cross view. So this is some more AI magic that's going on, and looking at where people are looking. Who wants to talk about this one just a little bit?
I'll take it if you want, Mike Riley.
Sure, go ahead.
Absolutely, right? So similar to cinematic meetings in a way, right? You've got your side view cameras here. Everybody's at a table. You've got your front view that's coming along, and then you've got your quad cam or your PTZs on the side as well that are here. And a lot of the times when we're having conversations, you'll end up seeing the back of someone's head that's in there in the conversation. Well, the side cameras here recognize the person speaking, moves the camera directly to them and puts them into a focus area, right, across the view, across the table, right? So what you ultimately see is similar to what you might see in the movies, right? Two people talking to one another, regardless of what table they're at or where they're sitting at the table. You'll see that conversation on the screen, left to right, or the person speaking, just as two people were kind of talking within a movie, right? So it's kind of taking that great feature out of having everybody in view and following them around the room. Same way here, but if two people are having a conversation across the table, now you're going to see both of their faces pinpointed on the screen so it looks like they're right directly across of one another, regardless of where they're sitting at the table. Great feature, and once again, between WebEx and Teams, right, regardless of what you have.
All right, phenomenal feature, and just making meetings more realistic when we're apart from each other. Anything that makes it more personable definitely helps. So we have another short demo video for you. We're going to kick over to a AI-powered portrait mode, and we're going to look at that real quick and then pop into some more detail for you.
Transform your Webex meetings with new AI-powered visual effects. Your meetings will be out of this world with these animated 3D effects. Gesture recognition lets you celebrate with even more non-verbal animated reactions. You can even use portrait mode to add depth and sharpen your image. No studio required. Unleash your creativity with Webex.
Yeah, so some fun features there, and then very useful features, like making us look better. Worst thing I can see in the morning at 9 o'clock when I'm jumping in a meeting is my face looking terrible and plastered. So little features like that just kind of warm us up. Again, just kind of helps all of us get through these meetings when we're talking to folks from afar. I'm going to kick out a quick poll question here. We just want to kind of see what your plans are for AI integration. Answer that as you have time, and then we're going to kind of kick into some more content here, of course. So we've covered our meetings. We're going to move into messaging now. This is another one of those main pillars of the Cisco WebEx experience. So all these things are built into that platform and available to you, available to your customers. Space summaries, this is a really cool one that, again, just came out. I feel like I've just barely started using it, but when I do, I've really enjoyed it. Mike Riley, tell me about this one.
It's similar to the summaries we've already looked at. The difference is the scope. It's covering everything within a space, and you can specify the length of time you want to go back through messages in that space to build the summary from. It will call out things in the same way as the meeting summary does, missed messages, key points, action items, decisions that were made. It's very nice to sort of summarize and not have to pull back through all of that information.
Absolutely. And this is the whole space view. We'll talk about the thread summaries in just a moment here, where we're looking at specific conversations. But first, Mike Brooks, tell us about rewriting messages. Maybe we're feeling a little grumpy one day. How do we fix our communication?
Exactly. So in the old way, right, how many people would write an email, just type it out and say what you need to say and delete it, right? In this particular case, how many people have done that? We've all been there, right? Same thing inside when we're writing a message. A lot of the times what we'll do is we'll type up a message here and maybe it'll come off just a little bit harsh, right? In today's environment, we really got to kind of watch how we say things and where we put things. What the rewrite message feature does is kind of take your message and soften it a little bit, right? Make it more digestible, consumable for everybody, right? Takes the harshness out of it. It's been a lifesaver on more than once when having conversations inside Cisco as you're asking specific questions to certain people around why things are the way that they are, et cetera, right? It softens that message. And I'm thankful that it's there, right? So I encourage everybody to try it. It is really well done.
That's already there. It's a nice little helper that's just kind of there in the background when you need it. And speaking of other things that are there in the background, this is already out as well. Thread summaries. Mike Riley, what should we know about that?
Well, the thread summaries is similar in a way to space summaries. However, the scope is different in that it deals with a single thread. You pick a message thread, and we've had the ones at the office that have reply after reply after reply. And this will go through and pick out items for you again to build a summary, including notes for, again, action items, decisions, etc., that have come up in there. So very, very handy, great time saver.
All right, it sounds good. And our final feature we want to cover today is message translations. Mike Brooks, what do we have there?
Yeah, so this is, once again, just another lifesaver, right? As we're having more and more global conversations, right? So I have conversations not only with people in the US, but I hop over to Asia Pacific as well, having conversations, and over in Latin America having conversations. I do not speak Spanish, unfortunately. I wish I did, right? I slap my hand every day when I realized I could have taken more of that in college and high school, and I didn't, right? So inside this particular space, I'll use Latin American as an example. I have conversations with inside there, and they all type in Spanish. Really quick and easy. I hit the messaging, message translation. I pick the language that I want that particular sentence or space to translate over to, and it automatically translates within that particular space over to English so that I can understand what's going on inside the space. And this translation goes even further, right? And I'm going to answer a question that Craig Wheeler had posted in the Q&A as well in regards to translation itself, right? So he had mentioned having translation done inside meetings over to German, right? So an in-meeting experience, not just in spaces. So in an in-meetings participation as well, there is a button that any individual can turn on, right? Not just a host, right? You can either have the host do it in the forefront or the individual that is in the meeting. Click the button, translate, pick what you want that translation to do, and it automatically kind of shows up in a closed captioning like format that you see on your TV as well, translating whatever is being said over to English or English to German in this particular case on the other end as well, right? So both sides can understand truly what's happening inside the meeting or inside a space. Lifesaver on both ends. But Craig, hope that answered your question as well.
Yeah, that's absolutely wonderful feature. Something I dreamed of a decade ago, working in some situations where I was working internationally. Let's see, we'll kick over to our next pillar of WebEx here, WebEx calling. So a lot of good stuff that's happening in the messaging space even. You just think of text back and forth, whatever. But there's actually a lot going on there to kind of help our communications. And with that, we move over to WebEx calling. A lot of good stuff coming out in the calling side of things too. Again, tied in with the messaging and meeting features that we've looked at so far. Mike Riley, tell us about the calling summaries.
Calling summaries work similar to meetings and messaging. It's based on the transcription services built into WebEx calling. And we'll generate a full transcription and from that pull highlights in the same way, notes, action items, basically a full summary of what's going on with that call. It's, again, a great time saver.
Yeah, so you're almost getting some call center features without having a call center. So just one-on-one communication, you're getting some of that same sort of insight that you might get. That's very exciting. Now, Mike Brooks, this next one, HD voice, my boss calls me from his car all the time. I can barely understand him. How's this going to help me? That's going to help me?
This is sometimes, I'll just say, not every call is crystal clear that we hop on. Let's be honest, right? As you said, right? You got some guys coming from on their mobile device. They come through, they don't mute, they're driving, they go through a tunnel, we lose them automatically, or there's kind of blip in between here. Somebody's walking down the street, there's lots of noise, whatever it may be. And you may have already heard this kind of feature in kind of the words optimize my voice, right? That was inside, right? So when you click on your particular how you want your audio to be, right? There was optimize my voice, and now there's HD voice. It automatically, when you turn it on, removes that background noise that we've been talking about so frequently and other features and functionality, using the Babel Labs technique, or the acquisition that we took in there from automatically taking all that background noise out of the way. But it also takes anybody that may be on a narrowband device as well, right? Somebody that's on a speakerphone, somebody that's on their mobile phone, takes that narrowband audio and converts it to wideband. So it actually makes the audio a little bit better than what it had. When I say a little bit better, from our end, it's a little bit better, but from your end, you'll be amazed, right? You can hear so much better what that person's moving with no background noise. It just converts it, right? So it's a huge time saver. And once again, as we're going mobile and everybody's working from different places, not every place is going to have the best connection. Not every place is going to have that. So there's a lot of narrowband audio taking place, and converting it through this acquisition here of Babel Labs and the HD voice and the AI codec that we're going to talk about down below. Huge improvement on the audio quality, regardless of which device you're calling out on.
Yeah, definitely. And so, I mean, we look at all these intelligence products that are coming out, and sometimes I find it hard to be excited about them, honestly, because I'm like, you know, when are we going to use that? What are we going to use it for? Where's it going to go? But this is the type of intelligence that is making life easier, better. This is something we can actually point at and say, hey, my phone conversations are much better with this person since we've turned on this feature. So just a really nice add-on, and Cisco's done a lot of work behind this one to you know, make our audio as clear as it can be.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Mike or Aaron, one of the places that I've used the most is specifically since the kids are going back to school. My pickup time every day is 2:20, right? If I was picking up today, obviously I would be late, but my wife is picking up, right? But I often take meetings in car, right, in the car. And sure, I do my Webex on the go there, or I come through my CarPlay that's there. The audio through those speakers inside a car is not friendly, right? Since this has come into play and is on by default, huge lifesaver. My boss doesn't know I'm in my car, right, which is fantastic, right, because the audio is so good there. It's just a great feature overall, right? So I can get my pickup done, still be clear and concise. Fantastic feature. Love it.
Good. Very nice. Love to hear that. Mike Riley, the voicemail transcription, some of this has been around a little bit, but I definitely want to recap it. Let's recap that a little bit, and if you want to go into the AI codec audio details a little bit, let's do that too.
Sure. Voicemail transcription. We've all had for some time the capability of getting your voicemail forwarded to your phone or through email. It's typically in the form of an audio file that is attached, which you can stop and listen to. Or with transcription now, you also get that transcription included in the message. So at a glance, I do this all the time from my cell phone. Just take a look at the message and decide from there. No need to take the time to try to listen to it when it's laid out for you already. Moving into the AI codec, this is one of the things that really sort of blew me away at WebEx One last year. This codec in technical terms is phenomenal. It reduces the amount of bandwidth needed for the call without affecting audio quality. And it is also inherently much more resilient in terms of a poor connection. It can recover from lost packets. It's, in technical speak, it's like RAID for audio. It can rebuild what was lost from the drop packets based on additional information that's included, redundant information in the other packets. Because it's so efficient, it can add these redundant packets and still have a great bandwidth savings. We have, I believe, a demo for this one as well that will be coming up. And actually, if you can go to the next slide, Aaron, this same from the last slide, but you can see a little better here what the actual bandwidth versus quality is for the industry standard Opus codec on the right versus the AI codec. You can get down to a 16th of the bandwidth and still have excellent audio quality. And with that, let's go on to our demo.
All right, sounds good. We'll kick off last demo of our show here. Again, keep putting your questions in to the Q&A if you want us to answer anything along the way. We'll cover most of it at the end, but we'll catch some of them here and there too.
We've all been there, holed up in a hotel room or on the road with dodgy Wi-Fi, battling through a call that sounds like a robot underwater. Why is it so bad? Well, your shaky connection is dropping audio packets left and right, and that means you're missing chunks of the conversation, or at least you used to. Today, allow me to introduce the new Webex AI codec in action. It's an industry-first game changer that uses AI to tackle those frustrating audio issues with one seamless solution. It boosts speech clarity and delivers rock-solid communication no matter where you are or how bad your connection is. Let's check out a demo. See, first, we'll make a call using Opus, the industry standard codec that most phone systems use, and we'll simulate a high packet loss environment that you'd expect from a poor network connection. Now check out our Webex diagnostics and you'll see that we're looking at packet loss of about 80%. And you'll hear how difficult the audio is to understand.
Hey, Bob, our important meeting to sign the contract has been moved an hour earlier to 10 a.m. and we'll be in the Plaza Hotel instead.
Well, that sounded horrible and familiar. We've all experienced this when we have a poor connection. But next, we're going to place that same call with a Webex AI codec. You'll notice again that our packet loss is about 80%, but the audio, well, let's see if you think it's easier to understand.
Hey, Rob, our important meeting to sign the contract has been moved an hour earlier to 10 a.m. and we'll be in the Plaza Hotel instead.
Did you catch that? The Webex AI codec came through loud and clear, even with a shaky connection. The AI is swooping in to smooth out the rough patches and clean up the audio, making sure that your calls stay crystal clear, even when your connection's a mess. The Webex AI codec is now available for Webex calling and meetings on the Webex app on desktop and mobile devices. Now you can drop packets all over the place and still get a clean call.
All right, I realize now I should have had a pro microphone sitting up in front of me there. My doppelganger friend that he makes fantastic videos for Cisco all the time. But a great example there where we have all that loss in audio. It goes through the Cisco's codec and just changes the game. Actually, you know what? We have one more feature to cover here. In the Webex Contact Center. This is one that is kind of hit the market a while ago, but it's really built up now. There's some great stuff here and more partners than ever able to sell this through some initiatives that are available from Cisco. So I definitely want to cover this a little bit while we have time. Let's kick off with Mike Brooks first. What about the virtual agent summaries? How's that going to help somebody?
Well, I'll start with contact centers first as an overall topic here, right?
Please,
so contact center has been around overall, right? You've seen the name go from an enterprise to Contact Center Express over to now which is referred to as the Webex Contact Center. And what a perfect segue into fit any type of AI feature and functionality and then better inside a contact center. Right. So as you can see from the slide there, you'll see the word beta underneath each particular one. Right. So what we did at Cisco from our standpoint, and this started with the with the features and functionalities that we've just gone through inside Webex, right? So meeting, messaging, devices, etc., right? Features across the board, integrated into the device or integrated into the software package. Then came the AI assistant, right? So now the AI assistant is out. For those of you not familiar with the AI assistant, everybody has an assistant, including you inside your home. And, you know, Siri's an assistant, Amazon, Google, they all have the assistants built in. Think of that assistant inside Cisco's product, similar to one of those, right? Or even better yet, right? I'll say Chat GPT, right? But Chat GPT is not integrated into the Cisco product itself, but we're all starting to use that as well. So now what we're kind of do is the AI assistant went across every single platform, right? So you find it in meetings, you'll find it in messaging, you'll find it on the devices, you'll find it inside Cisco's dashboard or your control hub for managing your collaboration installation, right? So now that we've gone across the platform, what better next step than to integrate AI into contact center, right? So when we start talking about agents, right, and contact center deployments, most people are still kind of hesitant to deploy contact center in the cloud. They're doing it on-prem. But those that are moving into that particular cloud motion, right, is we all have customer service where we'll talk to somebody on the phone, right? We call customer service, we talk to somebody on the phone. They automatically transfer us over to what we think is an agent. In this particular case, it may be a virtual agent, right? But we don't know that. That conversation that took place between the person on the phone transferring over to a virtual agent allows it to move over all of the conversation that took place into a virtual environment so that anybody that's on there can continue the conversation as if it was never transferred, right? That's an AI feature and functionality. It's in beta mode right now. For those of you that are interested in Cisco's contact center and you want to learn more, definitely drop us a line. We'll send you some information about that. But this virtual agent is the first step in as far as AI features inside the cloud contact center.
So a lot of great features going on. I mean, how many servers do I need for this? Do I need like 4 banks of servers to run Webex Contact Center now, or what do we do there?
Yeah, no longer going to go into that server mode that you're going to have when you had on-prem, right? 4 banks of server, heating, cooling, all of that stuff, right? So this is in the cloud, right? So think of everything else that you're doing inside the cloud, besides your meetings in the cloud, etc., right? Why not move your contact center to the cloud as well and realize that all of this is here? Very easy deployment. And when I say easy, easier than it used to be, right? Than it was from an on-premise perspective, right? I don't need 7 people and a project manager to deploy contact center any longer. I don't need, 7 people for the specialization any longer as well, right? So it's easier and simpler than it used to be.
Absolutely. This changes the game completely compared to some of the enterprise-grade contact centers that preceded this. So really nice stuff. There's one tiny little feature I'm even excited to kind of see in action. Any contact center, you're going to have agents, you're going to have supervisors, but one of the things that happens sometimes is agent fatigue. So as they get tired, maybe they're not at their best game. Maybe they're starting to get grumpy with one customer and they carry it to another one, something like that. There's little clicks there that can notify the supervisor what's going on. So some of that back-end intelligence where it's monitoring and it's taking care of things, it's making notes, and it's actually watching the mood of our agents. Really just incredible for creating a positive experience for the customers. And that's pretty much it on the contact center, but I want to throw it out. Mike Riley, anything else that you want to add onto this one too?
I don't believe so at the moment, Aaron.
All right.
I'll add another one. Another one, Aaron, just to kind of couple things come through here, right, and talk about the analytics and the call drop summaries, right? I'll leave the automatic CSAT score that's there, right, in a way, as that's in beta mode as well. But when we talk about the analytics, right, this is another great feature that we're adding there. Once again, still kind of in beta, is sometimes, the agent that's there or the agents that are among, regardless of where they're located, virtual or not, the same topic comes up, the same topic of conversation, right? Which will kind of trigger, is there something wrong with my website? Is there something wrong with a specific SKU or PID inside my website? Or is there an issue with product kind of thing? And it's these similar topics that keep coming up. So inside the overall supervisor or the generator, you can look inside the dashboard. I can actually get analytics on the topics of discussion with that those agents are actually having. Is there a topic that keeps coming up so that I can inform those particular agents that if you get a conversation around X, right, here is the best way to handle that, right? Or here is an automatic update sheet or a data sheet, so to say, on how to handle that, or talking points and how to handle that, right? That really narrows down on a lot of agent, as you said, a lot of agent fatigue, or a lot of agent transferring from person to person to find that subject matter expert. They all become subject matter experts inside this with the analytics and takes. And the same thing goes for the call drop summaries. This is great for the supervisor to kind of look at, is this agent not in the right queue? Is this agent fatigued or taking too many calls over a period of time and not being able to pick up that particular queue or that call? Those call drop summaries, why did they take place? And do I need to open another queue, etc.? Same thing, it's inside the analytics in the dashboard, allowing the supervisor to make sure that there's enough agents on hand to take care of the amount of incoming calls that are taking place, right? Once again, in beta mode, but as you can see, we're starting to move all of that AI features and functionality from what we had over into the contact center space. Extremely excited for what's to come. Aaron, Mike?
Beautiful. All right. Thank you so much for the wrap up on that. So we're going to move into a little bit different mode here. I hope everybody sticks around for Q&A. There's some really good questions here that we'll go through. But just in case we lose anyone, I do want to say thank you for joining, and also mention that we have a second Solutions Lab coming up in this quarter, Tuesday, October 8th. It's our annual Meraki Oktoberfest. We're very excited to put this one on for you. It'll be a nice little celebration and some festivities and great information about Meraki. But with that, let's jump into the Q&A. And I have one that's perfectly on topic here for contact center specifically. Can Webex Contact Center be used in an MSP configuration? What do you have to say there, Mr. Brooks?
Absolutely 100%. Is what I'll say there, right? So if you are an MSP, right, Webex and Webex Contact Center is definitely something you should be looking into. I'd love to have a conversation with you, Rodney, or hook you up with my counterpart, Amy Hodge, to have that conversation, but it definitely can be brought into a managed service opportunity. It's there waiting for you and ready.
Perfect. Very good. And like Webex, it's part of the partner control hub that you get as a partner. You get your own services. That's kind of a $0 license for you if you do the basic services. And along with that, you can see all of your clients that you work with and go in and help them with their services. So really nice setup that Webex did from day one, pretty much, when they moved everything into the cloud. Our next question here, I know things are changing a little bit, but is there a special vendor certification to sell Webex?
Mike Rowley, you want me to take that one?
I can take that one, although I may see if you can provide any inside information on this as it's changing. But currently, for most Webex products, the baseline is the collaboration SaaS specialization. That gets you into a lot of the Webex products. Moving beyond that, there's also advanced collaboration architecture specialization, which is a requirement for a lot of the contact center products. What Aaron had alluded to is Cisco has announced that the collaboration SaaS specialization will be getting phased out. Now is a good time before November 1st to go ahead and do the study and apply for that if you don't have it yet, or to re-up if you do have it currently. I believe it goes through January of 2026 that it will be still in place. And that allows, in addition to selling the Webex products, it also enables the collaboration NFR schedule, which is separate from the Cisco General NFR. And that can give some seriously deep discounts up to 100% on a lot of collab licensing for internal demo or lab use. It's a great thing to have. Mike, can you expand on that at all, or do you have any insight onto where things are going with certifications for that?
Yep, absolutely. And great overview where you're right on point, right? So if you're interested in Webex and the SaaS authorization, right, I encourage you to definitely go out and look at that specialization prior to November 1, right? On November 1st, they're going to take down the training. If you get the specialization, as you said, it goes straight through till February of 2026, right? So it'll be good for 2 years, so to say, if you get that right. So where are we going and what's next, right? This is the ultimate $1 million question. So partners that currently have it, right, knowing that you're good till 2026 is good. There will be a replacement for the SaaS authorization. I will tell you that the business unit inside Cisco is actively working on what that is going to be. What I think is going to happen is that it won't be necessarily, it may be renamed, and the training material and things may be updated a little bit better to reflect Cisco's go-to-market strategy around AI and some of the features and functionalities and adoption of those features and actually turning them on, right? So I'm not expecting a big change. I'm expecting a refreshed training material, and then we'll go from there. For new partners that are looking to get into Webex and sign on, right? Once again, encouragement, strongly encourage, get the training before November 1st. I bet you can do it within a couple hours, right? To be honest with you, right? The training is extremely easy. The exam is nothing. And when I say nothing is like, you know, I took it and passed it, and I'm not overly technical, not a problem. You will be able to pass that and get that thing done. If you decide you're not going to go down that path now and want to look at it maybe in the second half of Cisco's new year or actually after December, that's fine as well. There will be something in place. The only thing is that, once again, I think it's just going to be updated training, but I don't know when. I don't know what it's going to look like or where it's going to be put, right? So more to come on that particular motion, but if you're interested, I encourage you to go out and definitely take it and get it done. All right?
I'd like to also add on to that D&H does support partners in going for this. We have information on our Driven website. You can access that at www.dandh.com/driven. We also have a Driven team that's available to support on that. We do reimbursement for the online test that's passed. Feel free to contact us for more information on that.
All right, thank you both. Fantastic information there. So some changes coming, but there's ways to work through it, and D&H will be here to help you. So that's part of what we help do, as bridge between Cisco and your practice any way we can. Good question here. As far as spoken language translation, we were asked if we could translate into Arabic. Arabic is one of the supported languages. They started with 13, and I believe, Mike Brooks, I've heard more are coming. But yep. I do have a... Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say you're exactly right, right? Originally it started out with 5, then it went to 13, then it was 30. And by the next iteration of it will be up to 100 different languages, right? So Arabic is definitely in there, and you'll start to see more. And I believe there is a document as well that talks about all of the different languages that are supported in closed captioning and translation, right? Rodney will be able to send that out to you if you would like to see that as well. We'll give you the link as to where that's at.
Yeah, perfect. And that's exactly what I was going to mention. There is a list covering the languages. We'll send that over to you. But anyone else that wants to look it up too, look at help.webex.com. You can do a quick search for translated languages and be able to find it that way, which is also a shout out to help.webex.com. There's a lot of great information there that's good for you as a partner, good for your clients. for navigating anything within the Webex platform. Let's see, we talked about the German translations. We'll move past that one here, but oh, here's a good, so a good administrative question here. Can you discuss who can enable the AI summary and who can't, as well as how to retrieve the summary?
Mike Riley, you want me to take it or you want to take it?
I'll go ahead and start on it. You can correct me wherever I'm wrong. For the AI summary, I believe recording and transcription have to be enabled on the meeting by a meeting organizer. But once that's done, each participant can click the assistant link at the top of the screen and ask for the summary information from there.
Yep, 100% right. And think of, the best way to think of this, Steve, is think of the AI summary or the translation of the meeting as basically the new record, right? You click that record button. If you, the meeting host, has the AI translation and summary turned on inside your Webex, it'll automatically do that when you hit the record button. If it is turned on, right, inside your recording, when you send out your recording to everything else, the meeting review and summary is included inside that. As well as, right, inside when you grant somebody a meeting host kind of scenario, not just a meeting or somebody that sets up Webex meetings, if you turn on the translation for a particular person inside your control hub from administrator, you can let that person turn it on as well, right? But anybody that has an active meeting host can turn on that translation, send the recording out accordingly, and retrieve that summary from any of the meetings that are there.
All right, wonderful, thank you. And I'll kind of add a related topic to that. These AI features that have come out, they are on by default. So as an administrator, you don't need to go in and turn on anything per user, per group, or anything like that. If you do want to turn them off, they can be administratively shut down, but they are there and just by default at this point. Which kind of leads us into next great question that I'll send to Mike Riley here. Is there an extra charge or license needed for the AI features that we've been talking about?
It's a great question, and the answer is no. These features are built into the meeting platform, so each piece that you have, you will have access to the AI features.
Beautiful. All right, so easy.
Yep.
It's there, no cost. That's the best kind. And finally, Mike Brooks, it looks like our last question, so we'll wrap up with this one. Is my meeting data safe when AI creates the transcription and recap? What happens there?
Absolutely, right? So this is the big question as we start to have these AI discussion is, am I feeding the machine, so to say, with the answers, or am I putting sensitive data over the AI here from this end, right? And as well with anything inside Webex, there's that end-to-end encryption that's inside there. All of the data that is summarized with inside that meeting is built right into the tool. It happens right there, and on-prem is not going out to the cloud in this particular motion to summarize that. It's all happening on the front end, not on the back end that's there, right? So your data is safe. And once again, Aaron, on our end, right, I know this question came from somebody inside the call itself, right? But I do have all of the information on Cisco's data policy as it relates to everything AI, and I'll gladly send that to anybody inside the call as well if they want to have an additional conversation or review it.
All right, thank you so much. Mike Riley, Mike Brooks, thank you both for joining me today in this little exploration of Webex AI and everything that's going on around that. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Great to be here.
Right.
Glad you invited me.
Anytime. And then a couple of quick housekeeping notes and we'll let you go. But if you have more questions on this, certainly reach out to our team, Cisco support at dnh.com. We'll get you some more detail, especially on the technical side. That's our engineering group. If you need some sales side information, Cisco specialist at dnh.com can help you out there. They help with our quoting and general answers and all that sort of stuff. And then finally, I want to thank you, the audience. Thank you so much for joining us. We always love having you here. And we look forward to seeing you hopefully on October 8th for Meraki Oktoberfest. It's a lot of October in one sentence, but we look forward to seeing you there too. So thanks again. Thank you both, and we'll see everybody soon.